Hello, beautiful humans. I'm Jen Madrone. And today I want to talk about a question that came up in the group recently. And that was about how to know if you're having a nervous breakdown or if it's a spiritual awakening experience. And this is a great question because the symptoms of a nervous breakdown are pretty much identical to many of the symptoms of a spiritual awakening experience. And that can be anxiety, stress, depression, just feeling completely overwhelmed, insomnia, massive amounts of energy moving through your body that makes you just feel strange and off, the inability to cope with everyday life, just having no motivation, um, no reason to get up in the morning, super foggy mind. All of these are symptoms of a nervous breakdown, and the lists go on. And they are also things that we experience during a spiritual awakening experience. So it's a great question. How do we know what the difference is? How do we know if we need to seek medical help? And I believe that there really isn't much of a difference, that the medical system calls it a nervous breakdown because that's exactly what's happening physiologically. Our nervous system is completely overwhelmed and incapable of functioning, um, barely at all. And so they call it a nervous breakdown because they're looking at the body and what's happening in our bodies and the responses of our bodies. And they're not looking at the root, they're not looking at things that may be happening in our personal life, things that we may be experiencing, um, energetically, what's happening. And they're certainly not considering the fact that the high amounts of energy that have been increasing, um, a lot coming into this planet that is causing these awakening experiences. The medical system is definitely not going to admit or even look at the fact that the increase of energies coming into the planet could be causing these nervous system overloads. And so, really, it's a perspective shift. And so, if someone is experiencing these symptoms and they really don't have an awareness of their own process, of the issues that they need to work with, or that that there even is such thing as a spiritual awakening, then they're going to identify it as a nervous breakdown, and they're going to seek medical attention and look to medications for help because that's what they know and that's what they have. Those of us in this group are aware of the process of awakening and have some sort of personal awareness of your own transformational process, or else you wouldn't be in this group. And so, if you're going through these symptoms and experiencing these things, then it is definitely a part of your transformational process, of your spiritual awakening. That doesn't mean that it's not difficult. It doesn't mean that you're not having physical symptoms and you may need to seek medical help. And if you do, I would definitely recommend you start with um, alternative medicine first, with acupuncturists, naturopaths, or doctors who have an alternative side to them, so that you can be supported by natural medicines as opposed to the prescription meds that can really inhibit the whole process. So that's just my aside. I think there's a time and place for medicine, but I think it's definitely over prescribed. That's a whole another topic. So anyway, getting off the subject a little bit. The symptoms of the nervous breakdown and how they appear during the awakening process is something that I've talked a lot about in past videos. And really, it's our bodies rebooting, it's our computers rebooting. We're clearing, we are detoxing. The higher frequencies coming into our body are pushing a lot of past traumas and programming, old programming, and woundings up to the surface so that they can be cleared. And this can definitely wreak havoc on our nervous system, as well as the increased energies coming through the body, just rebooting our entire system so that we can hold more energy. And as we adapt to these energies, this also can really cause a lot of chaos in the nervous system. And so, really, we're just adjusting to this new experience of having different frequencies come through our body. And we're given an opportunity to look at what needs to be healed and what needs to be shifted in our life. And yes, it can be extremely overwhelming. Two things that helped me when I was going through this were, one was Rescue Remedy is a flower essence. It's a Bach flower essence that you can find at most health food stores. And I kept it in my pocket for months and would use it whenever I felt like I needed some help, just grounding and calming down a bit. And then the other tool that is really helpful is putting your hands on your heart when you're feeling really scattered, when you're feeling stressed or afraid or anxious, whatever it's coming, putting your hands on your heart and just saying to yourself, I am here, I am here, I am here, I am here. And that's going to call your energy back from all of the places where you're scattered and bring it back to the present moment. And just that simple act is going to calm your nervous system. You may need to do it 10, 20 times a day, but it'll start happening more automatically. You'll pull your energy back and you'll be centered in your heart. And so I love that practice. It's a really great one. And remembering that some of the most transformational processes, the times where we learn and grow the most, are often some of the most difficult times in our life. They are often the hardest to go through, but we seem to learn the most once we've gotten through it. When we're in the middle of it, it's really hard to see that. And so trusting the process and really loving yourself through the process, giving yourself a lot of credit for being aware and present enough to know that you're going through an awakening process, and that when you come through the other side, that you will be so much clearer, so much lighter, so much more empowered than you are right now. And you may need help. This is the part of the process where most people need assistance and need help. And this is the part in the process where I found guidance through some mentors, which helped me immensely. And so if you're feeling really stuck in this process, really overwhelmed, and you understand that you're going through an awakening process, but you just can't move forward and you're totally overwhelmed and you would like some help, please private message me. Let me know that you're interested in talking about what I offer, and we can see if we're a good match to work together. So until then, breathe, just love the shit out of yourself, and trust the process. Have a great day.